Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and I want to thank you for tuning in. This week I'm tackling a Stutz Blackhawk from my childhood. As always, if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of all future videos. So I have a Stutz Blackhawk by Hot Wheels. This was from my childhood collection. I never got rid of it. I apparently painted it black in part of the windshield with some testors model paint, and I actually have two of them that are identical, and I hated both of them as far as the colors went. And it comes complete with carpet fuzz around the wheel. I don't remember what room that was, but anyways, I got some. I always thought this thing looked like something. How do I put this? It looked Pimptastic. So I decided to go a little over the top on this and have some fun, since I really just disliked this casting, but it was one of the cars that I customized kind of as a kid, and I wanted to tackle it as an adult. And my skills and my sense of humor has hopefully improved a little bit since I was a kid. So I'm going to go with the gold wheels. To take these off, I'm just going to grind away. I'm not keeping the wheels, so otherwise I wouldn't be using the cut-off disc because it cuts into the wheels unless you have a smaller diameter one. But I'm just going to grind away the top real quick, and it'll open up a path to allow me to put the other wheels in and pop these out very easily. So I made short work of that. The wheels, where the wheel wells are and the wheels sit, they have these little tabs that stick out. The wheels would rub on, so I'm just grinding those off. I've never been a fan of them. I'm sure they serve a purpose, but I don't like them, so I'm cutting them off. And it gives me a little bit more room in the area that I'm working, and it looks better too, I think. So the wheels just kind of snap right in. It's a piece of cake. I stripped it with some citrus strip, and the paint came right off, even my original paint the tester stuff. As always, I'll go back over it with a wire wheel and get all the any residue that's left. Plus, it helps get off some of the cleaner itself. Even though I wash it, it still gets on there a little bit. The base is, believe it or not, in really good shape. All my original childhood cars have been kept inside, and they've all been, pretty much, I'd say they're all really good shape. But there was a little bit of oxidation, a little bit of black on here, so I'm going to use some of my Chemical Guys polish and swirl remover along with a brass wire wheel to get in. You can see it immediately starts pulling out the black, and then you just wipe it with a terry cloth towel, and it, there's other ways to do it. Just lime away. I just happen to have this stuff, and it works really well. Never had a problem, so and I kind of enjoy doing it. So once that's all done, and I jumped the gun on this. I shouldn't have done I did the wheels now, and I ended up having to mask them off. I should have waited. But once I glue it, I'm just going to use the quick set, and it's good to go. Now I'm ready for paint. First step, obviously, would be a coat of primer. The body's in good shape, but I like putting primer down if I can. It helps fill in some of the fine scratches. And I was undecided on the paint color, so I started with some chrome. This is the Quicksilver Chrome from Createx. And yeah, I'm putting it over primer. I was just looking for like a dull aluminum look, because I was kind of going back to, I was starting to second guess where I was going, because I don't have a plan on anything. I wing it, whatever it looks like. I kind of go that route. And I really wasn't digging the Quicksilver, so I ended up going with black. So I got some black base paint from Createx as well, and it goes on like almost like a satin finish. So I masked off the base, because a lot of the front and rear has like roll pans, and those would have been painted the color of the car, even though the original, it was just the cast base. So I masked all that off, painted the body. Now it's starting to kind of come together, and I have a better idea what I'm going to do. So I end up painting the interior white. I just kind of dusted, so it's almost got like a grungier look. The windshield was the next major thing, and it really wasn't that big of a deal, to be honest. The paint came off a lot easier than I expected. I started with some 600 grit, which is probably a little aggressive, but I wanted to make sure I really get those 2 or 3 spots of paint off. Then I jumped it up to 1200 and 2000. And then I'm using that same polish and swirl remover with a very low speed and a brand new twirly fuzzy thing to buff it out and make sure it looks pretty good. Wipe it with a terry cloth towel and you're good to go. The only extra step that I took is I don't do it all the time, but I put it in the Pledge Future Shine just to give it that little added pop. It does work. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't do it, or I forget because it's not a habit. And a lot of the windshields and stuff I work on are new, so very rarely do I work on an older one that's in this kind of condition. And you cover it, make sure no dust and dingleberries get on it. So you can see the base, really everything's all blacked out. So, and again, if you know me, I'm not a fan of all blacked out. At this point, I was kind of liking it. I was like, it looks really good. I'm not going to do anything to it. The gold rims kind of make it pop. It's starting to look like something you'd cruise down the street with and check on your girls. But I started second guessing myself again, and I wanted to try something different. It's an old car. I don't really care about it. So I'm going to do my details, like my marker lights, my door handles. And this is some Citadel paints, and you saw I used a Sharpie for the door handle. But yeah, I enjoy doing my, I've got, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 old cars from when I was growing up. So I was born in 70. I think I was collecting from like 76 to, I don't know, 83, 84. I say collecting, I just bought it. I wasn't collecting anything really, but I never got rid of any cars that I ever remember. I may have lost a few. But there was a bunch that I customized, or I thought I was customizing even back then. So I'm probably going to start tackling some of them now that I think my skill set's getting up there far enough. I'm also using, this is Citadel's Retributor Armor, and it's just a gold paint, and it looks dark when you open up the canister, but it goes on nice and light, especially if it's over a silver base. It looked good on the black base too, for like the grill shell. So I did the grill shell, I did the rear tire that sticks out the back, and a bunch of other little details that I thought was going to add to it. I ended up doing the side pipes gold as well. I just think it was, I wanted to make it over the top, I've got two of them. If I screwed it up, it's not a big deal. And the other one is identical. It's got the same kind of scratches. It's black, painted with testors, so it's not a big deal. So I get this tool, I think that's what it's called. It's like a mesh. And I got it for my Gaslands projects and for something special coming up. So I noticed it has like a grid pattern to it, because you can use it as like a wire mesh. So I tape it onto the car. I kind of mask off everything that I can, and I'm going to lay it on the top diagonally. And since I'm going with the gold theme, I got some metallic gold paint that I'm going to airbrush on. I ended up going a little too heavy, so you can see the mesh in a couple spots. I tried to go light. I have a heavy hand. If you watch any of my videos, I always overdo it. I think I got my air pressure too high, but I didn't have my adjustment right either, and it was too late after my first squirt. So, but it came out really good. So next step is obviously the clear coat. I got my automotive grade clear. It's a 4-to-1, and use two different syringes because you don't want to stick the hardened one into the other one. It just creates all kinds of problems. I think this cost me like $50 for both, and that's enough. It'll last me a lifetime as long as it doesn't harden up on me and I put the lids on tight. So I just mixed it up right in the gun, and then it's just a matter of putting it together. And again, I think this thing came out pimptastic. I really liked it. At first I was a little, I don't like the car, why bother? But the more I did it and the more I worked on it, I had a blast. I actually really like this. I think it came out good. This is what I started with, obviously. Black. It was originally silver with the blue and yellow decals. Just an ugly, god-awful car. But I think it came out pretty cool. So if you like what you see, make sure you comment, subscribe. Love to hear your thoughts, and I think it came out pretty cool. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.